Which major prospects are taking their official visits to Georgia this weekend? That's what I'm going to be breaking down in this video. Of course, the last 2 weekends, Georgia's had multiple 5-stars on campus for an official visit. And depending on the outlet you look at, there are multiple 5-stars again who are taking their official visits to Georgia this upcoming weekend. So it's not a giant list, but it is a very important weekend once again for official visitors and the 2024 class in general. So let's jump right into it. Before I break down all these prospects individually, I'm just going to give you the list, right? 4-star linebacker Chris Cole is going to be in town. I'm going to talk about him first. Then I'm going to talk about Jonathan Daniels, one of the top offensive line prospects, offensive tackle prospects really across the country. That's a major visit. Aiden Breland, one of the top defensive line prospects in the country at a modern day high school. And then Amari Jefferson, a wide receiver out of Chattanooga, who I really like. Got some, little scoop on him coming later in the video. So those are really the 4 guys who are taking their official visits. More will be in town. For the latest, you got to go read over on Dawg Post. But I want to break down these 4 guys real quick. Before I do that, make sure you're signed up to the newsletter. We got stuff pumping out all the time, right? Between recruiting, team news, schedule news, SEC Media Days coming up next month. You don't want to miss any of that. Sign up to the newsletter. You get an email with all the content that we put out for the last couple of days every day, right? So make sure you sign up to the newsletter and you get more info on these guys because I'm going to write about them as soon as I'm done uploading this video. That's going to be on Dawg Post later today. So let's jump right in. Chris Cole, 4-star linebacker, 6'3", 210 out of Salem High School in Virginia. He's taken multiple unofficial visits to Georgia. He's no stranger to Athens. He'll be back in town for his official visit. By the time you're watching this video, Joseph Phillips should probably already be committed to Auburn. So that's another linebacker you can check off the list. Did not get him. Did not get Sammy Brown. It's not the end of the world. You got to remember, they took 3 really, really good, talented linebackers in the 2023 class. So if you're a 24 linebacker and you want to play early, it's not really happening at Georgia. Now, they do have DeMarcus Riddick on board, 5-star linebacker, number 1 linebacker in Alabama. They still need to recruit him, in my opinion, like he's not committed. There are some close to the Alabama program that feel that they're going to flip him. If Glenn Schumann can keep that guy on board and steal away a 5-star linebacker from the Crimson Tide, that would be something. That would be a fantastic, fantastic job. He's the best in the country. If anyone can keep that kid away from Alabama, it's Glenn Schumann. Right now, he's on board. And if they want to take 2, Chris Cole is definitely one to keep an eye on. Now, Justin Williams is his own beast, right? He's out in Texas. He's going to be taking an official visit to Georgia, I believe, next weekend. That could be a Georgia-Oregon battle. So he's definitely in the mix. But Chris Cole he's been to Virginia Tech quite a bit. He's from Virginia. They're in the mix. He took his official visit to Penn State June 2nd. He'll be at Georgia this weekend. Then Miami's a first-team all-region linebacker, second-team All-State, plays strong safety and wide receiver, number 4 in the nation in indoor track 60-meter hurdles. The guy can run. He's lean. He's long. He's athletic. He knows how to tackle. There's a lot to like about him. He was at USC on Wednesday, just reading some of my notes here, and he was at Alabama on June 8th. So depending on who you look at, I think 247 has him as a top 70 player in the country, one of the best linebackers. Other sites, I think, are kind of up and down on him, but he's got length. He knows how to hit. He can run. There's a lot to like, and I think he is a real option in this class as Georgia's number 2 linebacker. So getting him on campus, big deal. Jonathan Daniels, 6'4", 275 out of Pensacola High School, Pine Forest, number 73 prospect in America, number 6 offensive tackle, number 12 prospect in Florida. That's according to the On3 industry rankings, which takes in account ESPN and 247 and Their Own and Rivals. So that's a little mix of everything and put out. But On3, the people that specifically working on 3 love this kid. He is the number 1 offensive tackle according to guys like Chad Simmons, Chad Simmons is the best. Chad Simmons, who works at On3, is the very best. I'm not trying to, pat my competitors on the back, but Chad is on a whole other level. I personally respect his personal rankings and his evaluations more than anyone else in media or in this industry. And then he's the number 11 overall player in the country. So big deal. Was at Kentucky for an official visit. He's at Georgia this weekend. Florida State has always been the team to beat. They've always been the team linked with him. Sorry about my hair. It is early in the morning. I didn't have time to take a shower, but I can't have this. I can't have this. I'm going to throw on this Atlanta Braves 2021 World Series hat and just take the hair away, all right? Go Braves, baby. 21 champs. All right, let's get back to this. I think Georgia has a real shot here, but Stacey Searles, he's got 2 on board. Marcus Harrison, Malachi Tolliver, and he's going to take 3 more. They want to take 5 offensive linemen in every single class. And the options are still out there, right? He's still got Marcus Easley, who was in town for an official visit earlier this month. He's a big deal. Stacey Searles likes him a lot. Daniel Calhoun, massive offensive tackle, could play guard at the next level. He's at Walton High School. I think Alabama might be the team trending right now, but I've always liked where Georgia sat with him. But like I reported for a while, that might come down to Georgia and Alabama. I think Alabama this second, from what I heard this week, might have the slight edge there. Casey Poe really likes Georgia. He's a mean physical interior guard out of Texas. Ethan Callaway is, I think, a take right now. He's a big offensive tackle. And then Fletcher Westfall took an official visit to Georgia last weekend. Excuse me. He likes Georgia a lot. That could come down to Georgia and Clemson. So plenty of options still out there. But Jonathan Daniels is definitely one to keep an eye on. Long, lean, athletic, just a dominant run blocker, who's a promising pass protector as well. Quick, nimble feet, shows pretty solid athleticism from my eyeballs, and just gets his guy on the ground consistently. Pancake after pancake after pancake. Call him syrup, because he delivers pancakes all day, every day on Friday nights, really. All day and night on Friday nights. Definitely got to keep an eye on. Aiden Breland, he's an interesting one. 6'5", 320-pounder, plays more on the edge for modern day, but 320, I think he's going to move inside and play. He is an absolute force. He is a guy who demands a double team. Big, strong, physical, but moves like a cat. I mean, this guy is quick for 320. He's in the backfield before you know it. And when he makes a tackle, it's a wow tackle. I mean, he's taking the ball carrier and dragging him like a rag doll, just throwing him backwards 5 yards. When he makes a play, it stands out. He's the number 36 overall prospect of the country, number 6 defensive lineman. 247 has him as the number 6 overall player in the country. Now, I don't take a lot of their rankings super duper seriously, but it is a big deal. But I mean, number 6 overall, I mean, they must take a lot of him. Runs at 12.94. He did that at 290 pounds. That is freaky. The kid can run. He's got a great motor. Turn on the film. He's running down running backs, getting sideline to sideline, but his ability to just use one hand and swat an offensive lineman backwards and then just find his way into the backfield with ease. I mean, kid can really blow up a play. Only made 24 tackles, but 10 and a half tackles were behind a lot, for a loss, behind the line of scrimmage. So when he makes a tackle, it's a big deal, and it's in the backfield more often than not. So everyone loves the potential of this kid. Every time I hear his name, I ask a question about him to sources in California. They think the sky is the limit for this kid. He's only going to get better. Could be a Georgia-Oregon battle. I think Georgia has a real opportunity to win over him and his family this weekend, show him what he could do in Trey Scott's defense on his defensive line and the ability for him to develop, win a championship, and go on to play in the NFL. That's what happens when you play on the defensive line at Georgia. So this is a big, big visit. Now, Amari Jefferson, wide receiver out of Baylor School in Chattanooga. This is an interesting one because I keep hearing, sometimes I hear he's a take and he's high on Georgia's board. Other people that I respect and ask, they say that right now he's not a take, which would really surprise me. Ryan Wingo, I'm not hearing as much with him in Georgia as I have in the past. Mike Matthews, never thought Georgia was going to land him. Well, at least for the last 3 months now, I did not think Georgia was going to land him. Still don't, but I do think that they gained a little bit of ground with him in this last official visit. Jeremiah Smith, Georgia's still working on him. Dylan Raiola wants him on board, but as I've always reported, I think it's going to be really tough to get him away from Ohio State. So if you're not getting those 3 guys, why are you turning away Amari Jefferson? 6'1", 190, good body control. He's got a big catch radius, great hands. He's good after the catch. He's ranked as the number 48 wide receiver in the country. I know Georgia fans aren't going to like that, but he's got size, ball skills, can still develop, as a route runner, but he can do a lot for you. And I think that, he's a middle of the road 4-star. That's not really a guy that Georgia should be turning down at wide receiver, especially when it does not seem like they're the team trending for guys like Jeremiah Smith and Mike Matthews. And I think they've got some work to do still with Ryan Wingo. So I think that Amari Jefferson is a take. We'll see how this official visit goes. I think Georgia could be the team to beat in his recruitment if everything goes well this weekend. So he's a guy to keep an eye on. So again, the official visitor list for this weekend is not crazy long. You know, there are not a ton of guys. There are more than I've talked about, and you can read them on Dawg Post. But in my opinion, these are the big four that'll be in Athens this weekend for an official visit. Multiple 5-stars, an important linebacker target now, and then Amari Jefferson, a 4-star wide receiver. So another big weekend. Make sure you're tuned in to Dawg Post. Subscribe to the newsletter, like I mentioned earlier, so you will not miss a thing. We're going to make you a smarter Georgia fan. Thanks for watching this video. Really appreciate it. I'll see you over on the website.